General Session. Today is March 12th, 2024. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you who are calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Thank you. Before we begin with our regular agenda this week, I'd like to take a moment to note that the holiday of Ramadan began this past Sunday. Ramadan is a month-long observance that includes fasting, reflection, and prayer for Muslims. And we're glad to say Ramadan Mubarak is to all, did I say that right? Mubarak. Did I say that right? How do you say that? Mubarak. Mubarak. I always mess it up. Ramadan Mubarak to all of our residents and employees who observe. And I just want to say, too, that it's so nice that you see the evolution of public service where we're embracing cultures, religions, and people from all walks of life. And that's really the underlying message, no matter what religion you practice or who you are. At the end of the day, we're all residents of Franklin County, and we all live together best we can in harmony. So, with that, is there approval of the minutes for January 4th, 2024 briefing session and the February 28th, 2024 administrative briefing session?
So moved.
Second, I'm sorry. Where's John? Second, come on.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
You should have saw their looks. They're all looking at me like, come on, man. All right, Auditor.
Resolution number 18324. Resolution approving 5 contract extensions for mediation services in the amount of $175,000.
Good morning, County Administration, Commissioner Crowley, and President Boyce. I'm Michael Cinziano, serving as your county auditor and remote. I'm actually outside Alpine Elementary, where I will be participating in their celebration of literacy, so I appreciate your flexibility. There's 2 resolutions. As mentioned, the first resolution is for a 1-year contract renewal of 5 mediators for the Board of Revision Mediation Program. The mediation program resolves valuation disputes outside the regular Board of Revision process, freeing up Board of Revision case backlogs and expediting the time it takes for taxpayers to get a final determination of value. The program, which is the first and only of its kind in the state, has been a huge success for the county and our Board of Revision. We've had almost 1,500 cases referred during the last triennial update, almost 3,000 cases during the last mass reappraisal, so that was 2017. And those that participate, we find, have a 98% case success resolution, so they come to an agreement. Already during this year's filing period, approximately 700 Board of Revision complaints have been referred to mediation. And a big reminder that April 1st is this year's filing deadline, so anyone that is contemplating seeking a value change, potentially through the mediation program, April 1st is that deadline. The mediation cases are those that are typically going to fall in a change of value of $50,000 or less. Property owner, representative from the auditor's office, and a third-party mediator, if approved, then work together and try and reach a consensus on a value. Of course, if they're not able to reach consensus, that property owner has the opportunity to then go before the full Board of Revision. Pending any questions, I'm happy to speak to the next resolution, if that is okay.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of resolution 18324.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 18324 has been adopted. Resolution number 19724. Resolution authorizing a mediation services agreement with The Ohio State University Moritz College of Law for the provision of mediation services for the Board of Revision.
Thank you, and thank you, Commissioners. So we are sticking with mediation and supplementing that first resolution you just approved, so thank you. This is for an agreement with The Ohio State University Moritz College of Law. The agreement would secure mediation services from Moritz Law students who have been trained as mediators. These law school student mediators will assist our Board of Revision mediation program in resolving property value complaints. Law school student mediators will receive practical, real-world experience by conducting the mediations, while the mediation program will be supported by the inclusion of additional mediators, thereby reducing, again, our Board of Revision caseload and supporting residents and taxpayers to get resolutions as quickly as possible to any possible change in values. And any questions, I appreciate your review and seek your support of the resolution.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 197-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 197-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the coroner.
Resolution number 198-24, resolution authorizing a contract with Esposito Mortuary Services Incorporated for body transport and transfer of appropriations from the general fund in the amount of $2,850,000.
Morning, Commissioners. Patrick McLean with Coroner Nathaniel Overmeyer's office. This resolution authorizes a contract with Esposito Mortuary Services, Inc. for body transport services that was competitively bid through an RFP with the Purchasing Department. The initial term of the contract is for 3 years, beginning March 16, 2024, with 2 one-year extensions available if both parties agree. This resolution also authorizes a purchase order with Esposito and includes a transfer of funds to cover costs associated with the body transport. The contract has been reviewed by Purchasing Department and approved as to form by the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. And if I could say as well, this is the culmination of several months' worth of work. We've come before you twice before, as you may recall, with emergency contracts. So this is our permanent contract putting in place. I want to thank Megan Perry-Blonier and her staff for the help with this process. Also Jesse Armstrong from the Prosecutor's Office and Amanda Wright and Mark Hansbrough from Franklin County Coroner's Office as well. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those. Respectfully request approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 198-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 198-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Drainage engineer.
Resolution number 199-24, Dynotech Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Drainage Engineer by providing general drainage engineering services in the amount of $100,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer. Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of a contract with Dynatech Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Drainage Engineer by providing general drainage engineering services. Dynatech is a certified DBE local engineering firm and was chosen via the engineer's qualifications-based process. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 199-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 199-24 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next, engineer, keep going.
Resolution number 200-24, HDR Engineering Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer in performing feasibility for 20 pedestrian bikeway projects that provide access to transit facilities in the amount of $395,255.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract with HDR Engineering Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer in performing feasibility studies for 20 pedestrian and bikeway projects that provide access to transit facilities. HDR Engineering is a local engineering firm and was chosen via the Ohio Department's Transportation Qualifications-based process. The transit supportive infrastructure projects will improve pedestrian access to transit corridors. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 200-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 200-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 201-24, establishing, altering, and widening of Klaus Road, Township Road number 347, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks to declare necessary the improvement on Klaus Road. The project is located in northeast Franklin County in Plain Township. The engineer intends to assist the Plain Township with roadway and drainage improvements along Klaus Road east of US 62. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, move for approval of 201-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 201-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 202-24, resolution approving street and storm sewer plans for Jackson Estates, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, our final resolution seeks approval of the street, storm sewer, and water line improvement plans for Jackson Estates subdivision. The development is located in southwest Franklin County in Jackson Township. Approval of this resolution allows the developer to begin installing the necessary infrastructure for the development of the subdivision. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 20224.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 20224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prosecuting Attorney?
Resolution number 20324. Resolution approving the settlement of legal claims and authorizing the county administrator to execute a settlement agreement and release in the amount of $96,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Janine Hummer on behalf of G. Gary Tyack, prosecuting attorney. I serve as the first assistant in that office. This complaint was filed in federal court and arose from an arrest during the OSU Michigan game in 2022. The Commissioners have been briefed on this matter consistently throughout this claim process. The matter went forward to mediation, and the original request was for a settlement of $250,000. After mediation, there was an agreement reached pending approval of the Board of Commissioners to settle this claim in the amount of $96,000. Sheriff Baldwin is in agreement with the settlement. I want to answer the one question that had come forward of whether or not there were procedures in place to avoid what happened in this case. And the answer to that question, there was procedures in place. However, there was a mistake made, and it was simple as that, a single occasion where the proper process was not followed. And that is being addressed internally at the Sheriff's Office. If there's no other questions, I'd ask for your approval.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 20324.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 20324 has been adopted.
Data Center?
Resolution number 20424. Resolution authorizing contracts with 7 providers for network cabling services in the amount of $2,100,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Julie Lest with the Data Center, and with me today is Data Center CIO Adam Frumpkin. The Data Center maintains the technology infrastructure that supports over 40 partner agencies, courts, and boards, and the services that they provide to the residents and businesses of Franklin County. The Franklin County Data Network is part of that infrastructure and connects 34 locations and 7,000 devices and facilitates those devices to communicate with each other, the internet, and the hundreds of applications that are required for the services we as a county provide to our residents. The data center is currently updating the network, and these 7 contracts will enable us to engage with the vendors for services as needed over the next 3 years. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 20424.
So we'll move it. Yep.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 20424 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Emergency Management Agency?
Resolution number 20524. Resolution authorizing a contract with AdCom Engineering LLC for the delivery of services updating the Franklin County 911 plan in the amount of $81,380.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. And with me this morning is Jana Gonzalez-Sells, your Franklin County 911 and Regional Communications Coordinator. Franklin County originally adopted its 911 service plan in 1986, and it has been updated throughout the years by resolution or motions at the 911 Planning Committee level. But at this time, due to changes in our jurisdictions, their 911 operations, as well as technology upgrades and changes enacted by the state legislature in 2023, a complete update to the plan is necessary at this time. In 2023, we worked with Franklin County Purchasing to develop an RFP for advertisement. We received 4 proposals. Those proposals went through a peer review process with AdCom LLC being selected as the lowest and best bid. They will provide a complete update to the plan suitable for the 911 Planning Committee to adopt in the fall. This is a committee chaired by Commissioner Crowley and comprised of local elected officials. I will gladly answer any questions you may have and ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 205-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 205-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Law Library.
Resolution number 206-24. Resolution allowing the Law Library to enter into a 4-year contract with Matthew Bender, doing business as LexisNexis, for print and electronic books in the amount of $122,486.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jennifer Jones, Law Library Director. For this resolution, the Law Library is requesting approval of a 4-year contract with the Matthew Bender, which is the print division of LexisNexis. This will be for the update and maintenance of a large portion of our print and ebook resources. The first-year cost of $122,486 will be subject to a 3% annual increase. That will allow us to lock in discounted pricing and know what the price will be going forward for the next 4 years. This contract is also going to bring all of our print and ebook purchases from this vendor into one contract, where we had, last year we had a couple other subscriptions that were outside of the contract. And we will actually start out spending less than what we did in 2023. So pending any questions you may have, the Law Library is requesting your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 206-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 206-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Child Support Enforcement.
Resolution number 207-24. Resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, Division of Domestic Relations and Juvenile Branch in the amount of $1,604,687.72.
Good morning, Commissioners. Susan Brown,
morning.
Director, representing the Child Support Enforcement Agency. This resolution requests your consideration in approving the Child Support Enforcement Agency's interagency agreement with the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, Division of Domestic Relations and Juvenile Branch, beginning February 1st, 2024 through January 31st, 2025. The purpose of this contract is to reimburse the court for expenses associated with the judicial processing, adjudication, and creation of judgment entries on child support-initiated cases. The Franklin County Child Support Agency and Franklin County courts have a long history of successful collaboration in the establishment and enforcement of child support orders, and this contract is connected to the Rise Together Blueprint Goals number 12 and 13. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 207-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 207-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 208-24. Resolution authorizing an economic development agreement with the Greater Columbus Convention and Visitors Bureau Incorporated to promote Franklin County as a tourism destination in the amount of $2,275,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Emmanuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. This resolution seeks your approval to authorize the 2024 annual partner agreement with the Greater Columbus Convention and Visitors Bureau, doing business as Experience Columbus, in support of their continued efforts to display the best of the Columbus and Franklin County experience to visitors. Joining us today, we have Brian Ross, who's President and CEO at Experience Columbus. We also have Linda Logan, who's the CEO and President of the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, who would like to share some remarks relevant to this resolution and their program.
Good morning. How is everyone? Definitely want to say we appreciate you having us here. Commissioner Crowley, President Boyce, I will make Commissioner O'Grady as well, so it's being taped. Maybe he's watching at home, I don't know. Administrator Wilson and the entire Franklin County team. I'm Brian Ross, as was mentioned, President CEO of Experience Columbus. We do appreciate your continued partnership as we grow the travel economy in Franklin County. I must also recognize your personal involvement in many of our large wins We know this is very special to Franklin County and not duplicated in our industry around the country. So we are very appreciative of your not only investment, but personal involvement in the industry. The travel economy is vital to Central Ohio. Tourism fuels the economy, employs residents, generates revenues, provides human services, housing resources, and supports local arts programs. Annually, visitors make nearly 50 million trips to Greater Columbus for conventions, trade shows, sporting events, business travel, and leisure travel, spending $6.6 billion in supporting nearly 75,000 jobs. That's 1 in every 15 jobs in Franklin County. It also saves each household in Franklin County an estimated $1,400 in annual tax payments. For every dollar invested in Experience Columbus, $13.60 comes back to the community. The number of visitors to Columbus has continued to grow in recent years, and we are up 16% over 2022. In 2023, we celebrated some great success. I'd like to share a few highlights before looking ahead to our initiatives for this year. In 2023, we hosted 342 groups. Those are meetings, conventions, and sporting events. That represented a 247% increase over 2022. Two of the biggest and most influential groups that the entire county came together to welcome and make their event memorable were PCMA's Convening Leaders in January, which was attended by 3,300 participants and represented $4.2 million in direct visitor spend. To put this in perspective, we were lucky enough to have Commissioner O'Grady go with us with the mayor in San Diego this year. They had 3,800. We had 33 in January. So we are becoming a destination of choice. We also know that because of this, we will have over the next decade hundreds of millions of dollars in economic impact. And currently we have $128 million in expected economic impact after hosting PCMA. And we do anticipate more to come. For this event, we hired 111 local businesses, of which 70 were minority owned. The other was the U.S. Conference of Mayors, which resulted in an estimated $1.5 million in direct visitor spend. For this event, we hired 53 local businesses, 34 of which were minority owned. We also conducted a community-wide perception study, the first of its kind since 2017, to better understand the key audiences, including residents, visitors, and meeting planners, how they perceive Columbus. The study found that 92% of residents say tourism benefits the area. We produced several marketing campaigns to reach visitors during summer, spring, and over the holidays. And finally, bed tax collections were up 12.5% to set a record of $55 million. Looking ahead, we plan to continue our minority business program to support even more local minority businesses. We already have an extensive waiting list from our inaugural year in 2023. Our diversity apprentice program is doing well. We plan to finish 2024 with 10 additional apprentices to reach 28 in total. Our most recent one, Donnell, is going to be, has just been offered a position in sales at the Junto. We also will continue to secure national headlines and awards for Columbus through the work of our public relations team, which pitches and places earned media stories and awards to drive awareness and positive attention to our region. Example of stories we were able to secure in 2023 includes Forbes, Essence, USA Today, Travel and Leisure, Good Housekeeping, and more. Our team also coordinated the push to get local chefs and restaurants nominated for the prestigious James Beard Award. We are so proud that 2 of our chefs have made the semi-finalist list. This year, we also will launch a new brand campaign. This will be done collaboratively with our community, and the findings from last year's perception study will help drive this initiative forward. We also look forward to hosting a record-breaking number of citywide conventions and events this year. More than 40 are expected. That's 7 more than we had in 2023, with an additional 95,000 room nights in downtown. 2 major events to note are the U.S. Travel Association's ESTO Conference. That'll happen in August at the Greater Columbus Convention Center and the Hilton. This is the nation's premier educational networking event for destination marketing professionals. The event will have an estimated direct visitor impact of $1.6 million. We'll also host the African Methodist Episcopal Church's 52nd quadrennial session of the General Conference at the Greater Columbus Convention Center, the Hilton, and all of our downtown hotels. This event is expected to be the largest convention held in Columbus to date, setting unprecedented records in both direct visitor spend and room reservations. More than 13,000 people will be attending, and we estimate that the direct visitor spend will be at $21 million. Throughout the year, we will work with our community partners to highlight the county's newest developments, festivals, local businesses that open, and spotlight the county's vibrant neighborhoods. Thank you again for understanding the impact the travel economy has on economic and human development, quality of life, and moving the brand awareness for Franklin County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see everyone.
Good to see you.
Council President Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, all the administration team, so happy to be here today to give you some highlights for 2023 and then look ahead to 2024. As Brian mentioned, it's been an exciting year, getting back to some great numbers for events booked and room nights as well. So a few highlights from 2023. We hosted 41 new events with a direct spend of $36 million. We started the year by announcing the U.S. Figure Skating Championships would be coming to Columbus this year, and we ended the year hoisting the trophy for the MLS Cup for our Columbus crew. We were the first city in over 30 years to host both the men's and women's NCAA tournaments here in Columbus and sold the most of all 8 cities for the men, with close to 60,000 tickets sold. Our community youth camp continues to grow. We had over 130 children that came out to participate in sports sampling. Our Community Cup had the most participants ever, which is an adult field day that gets people in the community out and active. And as mentioned, we generated our biggest number of hotel room nights, 137,000, surpassing our 2019 numbers. So here we are in 2024. We've already celebrated some big accomplishments by hosting a very successful 2024 U.S. Figure Skating Championships. We had record numbers again for the first time in over 8 years, with over 60,000 people in attendance, and we were so proud of the fact that our community really showed up and seemed to really enjoy the sport. First time it was here. This week, we are hosting the NCAA Division III Women's Basketball Championships at Capital University, so our Final Four is set. The games are Thursday, and we look forward to no Ohio teams, but we do have Transylvania that will be here. They're on a big winning streak, so we expect a lot of people coming here from Lexington, Kentucky. So we're excited about that as well. We're hosting the MLS All-Star Game this summer, and we recently announced that the NHL Stadium Series will be coming to Columbus. And then 2 of our favorite clients will be here. The U.S. Fencing Championships, which is the largest fencing event in the country, will be here over July 4th. And then the USA Volleyball Adult Championships at the Greater Columbus Convention Center over Memorial Day. So big events coming our way, and we look forward to a very good year. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
DJ Bivens, you want to say?
Really quick, I'm going to make a shameless plug. Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services. One of the conventions that I do hope is on your radar is the Delta Sigma Theta convention that is coming to Franklin County, and they're going to draw about 4,000 to 6,000 folks to our city. So I just wanted to make sure I made a shameless plug for that.
So actually, Sheree is a member on our team, and she's going to be heading up the services, so thank you very much.
Is that this
We
year?
appreciate you, yes, choosing Columbus to host that.
Okay. All right.
I have a
Well,
question.
oh, please.
If you don't mind,
Commissioner Crowley.
President Boyce, thank you. This is more so for administration. Is this an increase over last year, or is this the same that we gave last year?
This is equal, Kenneth Wilson County Administrator, this is equal to last year's contract.
Okay.
And it also includes authorization to expend carryover dollars from last year.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you. If there are no additional questions, I move for approval of Resolution 20824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 20824 has been adopted. Resolution number
Thank you.
20924. Resolution establishing and describing the boundaries of the Franklin Township Westland South Community Reinvestment Area in Franklin County and designating a housing officer to administer this community reinvestment area.
Thank you again. And this resolution,
Commissioners, just a second, Assistant Director, if there is a motion to postpone until Thursday, we would welcome that postponement.
Absolutely. Move to postpone to March 14th, 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 20924 has been postponed to March 14th.
Thank you. Fleet Management.
Resolution number 21024. Resolution authorizing the second contract extension and contract modification with Byers Ford LLC for the supply and delivery of fleet automobiles for Franklin County Fleet Management in the amount of $3 million.
Good morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. Fleet Management is requesting approval to a contract extension for the supply and delivery of fleet automobiles. The Commissioner's fleet consists of approximately 400 vehicles, and we have established an annual replacement schedule. A contract was awarded to Byers Ford LLC on March 23rd, 2021, and it was extended on March 14th, 2023. Byers Ford has performed well over the last 3 years to obtain the vehicles we do need. Manufacturers were struggling with production capacity for several years, and Byers has worked diligently to find what we need and give us options to find them wherever we could. Fleet Management is also requesting an increase in the not-to-exceed amount to $3 million. This increase is due to manufacturer delays from previous orders, and they are all expected to be delivered in 2024. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 21024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 21024 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 21124. Resolution approving a subboard agreement with the National Center for Urban Solutions for programming to engage fathers in early childhood education in the amount of $170,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Carmen Barnes,
morning.
Assistant Director, Job and Family Services.
Good morning.
We are entering the 5th year of our partnership with the National Center for Urban Solutions to help engage and empower fathers to be advocates for their children's early learning success. The Calling All Dads initiative provides opportunities for fathers to become ambassadors, promoting the importance of quality early learning and the positive effects fatherhood can have on a child's education. Over the last award period, NCUS engaged over 200 fathers who signed their Proud Dad Pledge. They conducted outreach to child care centers and participated in father-focused community events such as the Proud Dad Cookout and Cooking with Dad. Over the next year, at least 200 NCUS will continue to conduct outreach to promote early learning and provide at least 200 fathers with educational learning tools and resources and host community conversations on the importance of fathers' involvement in their children's education. We will also be working to align the RISE program team with NCUS so that outreach and awareness activities will be aligned to support Year 2 of the Franklin County RISE initiative. This resolution also aligns with goal number 11 on the RISE Together blueprint Today we have President Kenny Hampton joining us virtually. If you have any questions, pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. May I, President Boyce?
Please.
No questions, just a comment. As PJ and I, who is our early learning policy administrator, did I get that right this time? Almost struggled. So we just came back from South by Southwest EDU and in Mecklenburg, and we're getting ready to make our, I guess, world tour. One thing that is that we saw in Austin was so many like Black male teachers, right, that I think we weren't expecting to see at this educational conference. And as you already talked about, aligning with Franklin County Rise Child Care Initiative, as that's in year 2 and expanding, I think we are going to continue to engage parents, but I think there's also an opportunity to really have a conversation about Black men and if they have a interest in being early childhood educators, right, and putting them on a path to success, not only advocating as their children's best teacher and first teacher, but also like what does it look like if they want to be in the classroom, if they want to continue their education, move from a CDA to an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. Like there is absolutely ways that we can support that through maybe this initiative or definitely with RISE or as we continue to have a conversation about our expanded early learning strategy with Scarlett. So I just wanted to put that on the radar as we always are trying to align services, but also expand collaboration and partnership in different capacities. So thank you. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, DCA.
I know that President Hampton is on. I just want to make sure that the commissioners receive a status report. Since this is a re-up, if they can receive a status report more formal submitted to each of their offices. In addition to today on the news, many of us saw that Franklin County has a kindergarten readiness crisis. If we could, working through PJ, convene folks with Mr. Hampton and others so that we are all educated on messaging to support RISE, but in addition to seeing what the data substantiates and educating our fathers. The last thing, Commissioner Crawley, I will say is CDC Head Start is doing a campaign for Black male teachers as well. So if we can align all of those efforts, that would be great. But particularly, Mr. Hampton, if we could get a copy of your status report from the previous years, that would be great.
We will include that with the biweekly. They've submitted that.
Thank you. All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 21124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 21124 has been adopted. Next, we have Justice Policy and
Oh,
Programs.
sorry, you have this.
Resolution
Yeah,
number.
that one. Yeah.
You know that agency.
Resolution number 21224, resolution authorizing a professional service contract agreement with Nancy Woods for peer support and case management services for residents served via Pathways Achieving Recovery by Choice in the amount of $37,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Courtney Moats, Grants Administrator with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Our first resolution requests your approval of a contract with Nancy Woods for peer support and case management services for residents served via our Female Pathways program. Ms. Woods will facilitate pre-release groups, complete required assessments, and offer one-on-one peer support pre- and post-release. Pending any questions, we seek your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 21224.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 21224 has been adopted. Resolution number 21324, resolution authorizing 2 professional service contract agreements for peer support and case management services for justice-involved residents served through the Franklin County Rapid Resource Center in the amount of $69,560.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 2 professional service contracts for peer support and case management services for justice-involved residents served through our Rapid Resource Center with Talitra Campbell and Jordan Rasmussen. Both individuals will provide services to residents as they prepare for release back into our community. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 21324.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 21324 has been adopted. Resolution number 21424, Resolution authorizing a contract modification with the Cornerstone Promise Incorporated for the provision of transitional recovery housing in the amount of $50,000.
This third resolution requests your approval of a contract modification with the Cornerstone Promise for provisional of transitional housing. This modification requests to increase the not-to-exceed amount of the original contract by $50,000 to support the increased demand of housing services for residents served by our Female Pathways program. Housing and wraparound services will be provided to residents for up to 180 days immediately upon their release from incarceration. Pending any questions, we seek your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 2-1424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 214-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 215-24. Resolution authorizing an agreement with Franklin County Public Health for equipment to enhance harm reduction efforts.
Thank you. Our final resolution requests your approval of an agreement with Franklin County Public Health. More specifically, this resolution will authorize Franklin County Public Health to loan our agency an iPad for us to streamline our paperwork completion and submission requirements for Narcan distribution. Pending any questions, we seek your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 2-1524.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 215-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 216-24. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $4,632,446.61.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Excuse me. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 130 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and Tamika has the supplier diversity data for you this morning.
Good morning. 14 of the purchase orders being presented today are being awarded to small emerging businesses, totaling $396,762.39. 2% is being awarded to minority-owned businesses. Another 2% is being awarded to small businesses, and 7% is being awarded to women-owned businesses. Once these are approved, 5 agencies have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities for small businesses this week. These agencies include the Court of Common Pleas, Engineer, Job and Family Services, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 216-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 216-24 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 219-24. Resolution appointing Mo Dion to the Columbus Regional Airport Authority Board of Directors.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Lauren Gressel, Assistant Director of Community Appointments. This appointment is for 4 years, and the terms are staggered. And pending any questions, we'll ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 219-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 219-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 220-24. Resolution authorizing a contract with Maximus Consulting Services Incorporated for the annual updates to Franklin County's cost allocation plan and the data center's cost analysis and rate study in the amount of $58,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tularic with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize a 2-year agreement with Maximus at a cost of $29,000 annually. This is a decrease of $7,500 from last year's contract. The last year's contract identified $4.5 million in indirect costs that will be reimbursed to the general fund in 2024, while the data center's cost analysis and rate study identified an additional $2.6 million in chargebacks. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions, move for approval of Resolution 220-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 220-24 has been adopted.
Thank you. Are there any generalizations?
Yes, we have one today. Case number ANX-06-24, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-06-24, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on March 4th, 2024. The petition is requesting to annex 1.94 acres from Madison Township to the city of Groveport. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on April 9th, 2024. The site is 5600 Groveport Road, PID number 180-000921. And Commissioners, at this time, I'd like to see if there's a motion to recess before our final resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
And we are now in a recess to move to our ditch petition. Commissioners, at this time, is there a motion to come out of a recess to move to our final resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. We are now out of a recess, and I will read the final resolution. Resolution number 22124, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of considering the purchase of property and to consider information related to economic development assistance.
Move to convene into executive session to consider the purchase of property for public purposes and to consider confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that the following conditions apply. The information is directly related to a request for economic development assistance that is to be provided or administered under any provision of Chapter 715, 725, 1724, or 1728, or Sections 701.07, 3735.67 to 3735.70, 5709.40 to 5709.43, 5709.61, to 5709.69, 5709.73 to 5709.75, or 5709.77 to 5709.81 of the revised code, or that involves public infrastructure improvements for the extension of utility services that are directly related to an economic development project. Further, that the executive session is necessary to protect the interests of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 22124 has been adopted to convene into executive session. At this time, we will need everybody that is in the room to exit and wait in the lobby until the commissioners are finished.